So far, so good when it comes to Trump endorsements. If you've been paying attention to some of the stuff during the primary elections that have been going on and will continue to be going on through probably the rest of the month here. I'm not too sure when everything's all done and dusted, but we're getting to be that time of year, which is, it's really wild to think about. We're already in August. Jeez, man, it's just a couple more months before we get all the insanity when it comes to the midterms and all the different debates that are going to be going on and all the insanity from the White House. So savor the moments that you have right now of at least a little bit of sanity before we start to ramp up the insanity. Trump-backed primary candidates score in Arizona and Michigan and fall in Washington. Yeah, because they got a little bit of a weird primary system where both parties, all the parties, everyone who declares for a specific race all gets thrown into a pot, and then all of you get your nominations. The top two from whatever parties are going to be there, the top Republican and the top Democrat, all out of the same voter pool, then gets pushed towards the next primary. It's a friggin' weird system that they have in Washington, D.C. And that's why it was only by a couple of percentage points and maybe some name recognition. And again, I could explain all of this stuff away, but those were the only two places, okay, that the Trump endorsements fell short. Okay, but we still got probably the most funny primary election coming up, okay, and that's going to be the one that's going to get the most attention here, but that one's coming up, I think, next week or this week. It's coming up really shortly. We'll get into the numbers here in a second. Former President Donald Trump's endorsements were on the ballot in 5 August 2nd Republican primaries, scoring wins in Arizona, Michigan, dual defeats in Washington State, and a draw of sorts in Missouri. Yeah, because that endorsement was a little bit wishy-washy, if I do say so myself. According to Ballotpedia analysis of the 2022 primary cycle through August 2nd, 12 of the 15 endorsed gubernatorial candidates have won Republican primaries with 4 pending. 99 of 104 U.S. House Trump endorsees, have advanced with more than 20 pending. Yeah, fucking tick-tock when it comes to counting those votes here. It's getting a little sketchy. And 15 of 16 U.S. Senate candidates have his endorsement have advanced with 4 pending. Yeah, there's still some outstanding primary votes that are going to be happening here. So the vast majority are incumbents who face no or nominal primary challenges. But the ones that were at least higher profile, his endorsements have fared fairly well. We got a pretty good win percentage. Okay, we definitely get a 4.0 if we were running by college standards. Of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump, 4 have retired, 3 survived primary challenges. 2 of them were in Washington specifically. Fucking weird how that happens, huh? But yeah, Trump-backed candidates 2 lost their seat to American First inter-party rivals, and 1 Representative Liz Cheney awaits her fate in August 16th Republican primary. That's fucking D-Day for you, you fat cunt. But we'll get to that more in a moment. I want to get over all of the results, or at least the ones that are currently pending right now. Trump has issued several prominent endorsements in the August 16th primaries. But let's go over the rest of this stuff, right? Oh yeah, there's a big one coming up in Alaska there. Kelly Tishbaka, okay, in her Alaskan campaign. Why is Trump endorsing so many broads? Okay, you're going to see the fucking common through line when it comes to this, okay? The Republican Party is starting to become the pussy party, okay, if you've been paying attention to this stuff. Not that that's inherently bad or anything, except for if you take a look at the way that they kind of vote at the end of the day and who are most likely to kind of turn face and, side with the other side. Just saying, okay, if you don't want to read a little bit too deeply into that stuff, there's just a lot of women that are getting endorsements, which again, it looks like they're really scared by the whole, oh my god, he said grab him by the pussy stuff. Yeah, no, exactly. Maybe they're just kind of like a strong male leader. Imagine that. Wonderful. Anyways, but Kelly Tishbaka is going up against Senator Blockhead, old fucking Roblox, Lisa Murkowski. That'll be interesting because I want to see how that shakes out. I haven't seen any polling when it comes to that, but yeah, August 16th, the fucking rubber hits the giant head. And the long-anticipated showdown in Wyoming's Republican Congressional District primary between Harriet Hageman and another woman with a very short Karen-esque haircut, but whatever, we'll get to that one. So let's take a look at the August 2nd election results and how those all shook out. So who's going to be facing whom come November? Secretary of State for Arizona. A lot of Arizona shit went down. A lot of, at least at time of recording, something pretty significant is still outstanding in Maricopa County. That fucking place where disaster happens a lot. Anyways, State Representative Mark Fincham, defeated his closest rival, Bo Lane, scoring 38% of the vote. Lane received 26%, and the other two hopefuls drawing at least 16% in a crowded field. Fincham made election integrity a cornerstone of his campaign following the disputed 2020 elections, which was totally an honest election and nothing bad ever happened there, especially in Maricopa County. Nope, nothing needed to be examined at all whatsoever. 81 million votes, can't be wrong. At the end of the day, I stand with the rule of law, and nobody has their thumb on the scale of election integrity and election justice, Fincham told the Epoch Times. Mark was willing to say what few others had the courage to say, Trump said, complimenting his incredibly powerful stance on things that Trump likes to talk about, that thanks to YouTube's policy, those are the words of Trump. I like Trump. Anyways, Fincham will face former Maricopa County Recorder Adrian I like to hoard ballots, especially when Kirsten Sinema's on the ballot, Fontes. Oh, buddy. A Democrat in the general election on November 8th. Fontes defeated Reginald Boulding 53% to 47% to win his party's nomination. Where did you fucking bring this old hack back into? Jesus Christ, Reginald. But it's funny, right? Yeah, Mark Fincham got the endorsement. You take a look. Okay, so he won 38 to 26. So he won by 12 points. And then the other Trump endorsee, good old lanky Blake Masters, okay, blew past 4 other Republicans for the Arizona U.S. Senate Republican primary, and will face on November 8th's general election Chairman Mark, who didn't face a primary challenger because, again, he won because Martha McSally is unfucking likable, and hey, you know, Maricopa County, looking at you. Masters received $15 million in campaign support from venture capitalists and a longtime employer, Peter Thiel. Oh, he worked for Peter Thiel? Nice. And secured Trump's endorsement in May. He's strong on everything needed to keep Arizona first. Trump said Masters' ad that ran in July, Mark Brnovich and Jim Lamont, on the other hand, will only let you down. Yep, Mark Brnovich, he is the current Arizona Attorney General, I think. I'm pretty sure he's the Attorney General. He said, no, Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State, and she's running as the Democratic nominee for governor, which again is going to be woman versus woman, no matter how everything shakes out. Jesus fucking Christ, but whatever. Just notice a trend here. Nothing wrong with any of this stuff at all whatsoever. In the last 2 days before the election, Trump surrogates campaigned for Masters, stumping for him in Tucson and Phoenix were Rick Grinnell, former Director of National Intelligence under Trump, and Kash Patel, Chief of Staff for the Trump administration's Secretary of Defense. Masters said that he believes Trump won elections in the past. Yep, no, Trump won the 2016 election, that's for sure. Yep, no, he definitely did. That put President in the White House. Yes, no, exactly. You got to edit on the fly because, boy, howdy, is this fucking shit retarded. Set him up in stark contrast to the early favorite in the race, Arizona Attorney General. Did get it right, Mark Brnovich. So, yeah, no, he blew past 4 other Republicans, okay? Which, again, what were the margins of victory? I'm just going to check. You guys don't really need to see this. Yeah, Masters won his race by 10.5 points over somebody else who also, at least locally, has name recognition. So just keep all of that in mind, okay? So then you get to Arizona's governor, which is still out right now, but at least Kari Lake, the endorsement from Trump, okay, as opposed to the Mike Pence and other establishment rhino hacks, is up by just a shade over 2% or just a shade under 2%. 46.3. I just looked at it as well to 44.3. It's something like that. It's in on or around 2% with 88%. Interesting. When was the last time we seen shit like that happen? Then all of a sudden, wow, where did we find these additional 500,000 ballots? Wow, and they all seem to go for one candidate? That's fucking weird. We shouldn't look into that at all whatsoever. Just regardless. Okay, so where they have it broken down here, 46.2% for Lake as opposed to Karen with 44.4%. The numbers have, wiggled around a little bit, but all in all, as long as nothing funky ends up happening, Kari Lake should be the Republican nominee. But the fact that it's still even days after the fucking votes and all the polls closed and everything else has already been decided and you guys are still parsing the fucking hairs when it comes to this one selection, maybe it's because Kari Lake has been the most vociferous in her endorsement of Trump, and that whole relationship has been awfully reciprocal. I don't think anything sexual is going on there, but good on Trump. She's at least holding on pretty good, I guess. Lake, a former Fox 10 anchor, quickly gained momentum in the polls when Trump endorsed her in June. On July 22nd, she appeared at the Save American rally in Prescott Valley to support Lake. She characterized Robson as an establishment rhino aligned with Arizona Democrats and establishment Republicans. Yeah, no, well, you take a look at all of her endorsements. She got the endorsement of former vice president, you'll never be president there, Mike, and 8 past and present Republican governors, most notably fat fuck Chris Christie. Is that an endorsement that you really want? That's kind of like David Duke sticking up for you. I endorse your campaign. Just fucking keep it off to the side there. So yeah, once that gets crystallized, or if there's just this magic flip in the middle of the night, I'll be talking about it then. But as of right now, yeah, that was another big Trump dub. Anyways, Bowers bounced. Oh, yeah, this one hurts. This one hurts as well. Rusty Bowers, Arizona House Speaker, who delivered testimony at the House January 6 panel. Lost his Republican primary to the Trump-backed state Senator David Farnsworth. Hey, a dude for once. By more than 20 percentage points in a resounding rout. Fucking sucks to suck. So you take a look at the rest of the Trump endorsements, okay, and then all of a sudden have a real tightening with one, probably the most consequential position that's on the ballot. A little weird how that happens, huh? Anyways, remember Arizona, your so-called speaker, Rusty, an appropriate name because he is rusty, like the steel gets rusty and weak. Bowers is absolutely terrible, Trump wrote, and only he can on Truth Social, of course. Literally, there's still no app for Android. What the fuck are you dragging your feet for? Missouri U.S. Senator. Yeah, this was the endorsement that's a little bit fucking weird, okay? The race to earn the Republican nod to succeed retiring Roy Blunt, round of applause for that because fuck Roy Blunt, was shaken up by Trump at the last minute. August 1st endorsement in which she pledged support to Eric. Eric who? Eric, we're gonna need a surname, sir. 2 of the top 3 contenders for the race were named Eric. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt and former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens. Eric Greitens had a sweet fucking campaign ad, and for whatever seat he's going to be running for in the future, you can go ahead and reuse that. But Eric Schmitt ended up taking the nod on that one. It was close-ish, but Eric Schmitt is pretty good, all things considered. He crafted the Dobbs decision that ultimately overturned Roe v. Wade, so definitely got that going. Schmitt, former state treasurer who has served as Missouri's attorney general since 2019, will face the Democratic primary winner Trudy Bush Valentine. Are you fucking serious? Your name has Bush and Valentine in your name? Christ almighty. Are you sure you weren't a former porn star? An heiress to the Anheuser-Busch brewing fortune. Ooh, that could be, knowing the roots that they have in that state, that could be interesting. In the November 8 general election, Greitens served as governor from Missouri between 17 and 18 when he resigned under investigation for ethical and sexual misconduct. So the old Andrew Cuomo special. Michigan Governor Tudor Dixon. All right, at least she's cute. I got that going for her. Former steel sales manager and conservative commentator. This is one thing, okay, that I at least like. Like, you got Kari Lake, a Democrat who voted for Obama, like a bunch of people who ended up who ended up supporting Trump. Yeah, it's a long story for a lot of people. A lot of people had that little interim during 2016. It's like, well, I just don't trust anybody. And eventually came around to Trump in 2020. But not enough, right? Right? Whatever. But no, you get these legitimate outsiders, not guys that have long-established careers in politics come in. It's kind of like a return to the old ways of guys who would just have enough about the garbage that's going on in their municipality and then deciding to represent, do their job, and get the fuck out. I don't know Tudor Dixon's long-term plans, okay, if she wants to parlay a governorship in Michigan, which could be tough, okay, but at least, yeah, you're going up against one of the evilest people to walk this earth or glide across it, because I don't really know. All I know is that Gretchen Whitmer never goes close to a church because it just gets a little bit too hot under the collar for her. She's evil. She's very evil. A conservative online news anchor, Dixon founded Lumen News, a pro-America, pro-Constitution morning news program broadcast on Facebook. Oh, so she has a podcast. How adorable. She'll challenge incumbent Democratic witch Gretchen Whitmer, who didn't face a primary test. Yeah, that sucks. That'll be interesting. That will be incredibly interesting, because you're going to have somebody who's very well accustomed. I think she was on Newsmax or OAN or something like that. Like, she was... This is Tudor Dixon, by the way. She's got a hilarious name. She needs to change that first name, because that's just a primary school kid's wet dream right there. Tutor, literally. But you're going to have somebody eloquent up there at the debate stage, and we all know how quickly Gretchen Whitmer can get rattled. So if she can work her little catty magic, not knowing any of her previous work, Dixon, by the way, not knowing anything that she does on camera, if she can hold poise, if she can hold frame on stage, she might come across looking pretty good in the state that is in a little bit of an identity crisis at the moment, to say the least. So that's what's going on in Michigan, at least at the governor's mansion. But the 3rd congressional district, another traitor. Oh, it bites the dust. You'll love to see it. Trump endorsed John Gibbs, defeated incumbent Peter Meijer. And Michigan's 3rd congressional district Republican primary on August 2nd, garnering more than 52% of the vote, in which 4%, in a victory of 4 percentage points. Meijer was one of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach then President Donald Trump on January 6th Capitol breach. Trump endorsed Gibbs for the Republican nomination. Gibbs will face Democrat Hillary Schlotton. Whatever. November 8th general election in the redrawn 3rd congressional district that once favored Republicans but is now friendlier to Democrats. Fucking weird how that shit happens, right? Meijer is unelectable in November, Gibbs told the Epoch Times before casting his vote on August 2nd in Byron Center, because the freshman legislature voted to impeach Trump and also voted for the gun control bill. Yeah, no, exactly. What's his background, by the way? Gibbs was a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development director, or rather official, during the Trump administration. He was appointed by Trump to lead the Office of Personnel Management, but wasn't confirmed by U.S. Senate. Oh, so he's somebody who's hated by the swamp? Delicious. I want more of this guy. He could be on fucking everything. Might as well be ahead of the OPM going forward. I don't give a shit. 4 other guys just moonwalked in. Had no challenge against them. Oh, and especially, Fred Upton retiring. The only thing good that he did on this earth, well, his brother or sister, he's the uncle of Kate Upton, who now professionally takes loads from Justin Verlander. Good for her. And better for him. He can go home and fucking wank it to his niece. And last but not least, Washington's 3rd congressional district. This one sucks because Joe Kent's a hell of a guy, and he ended up losing due to Washington's very fucked primary system. Okay, I alluded to it earlier, but we'll go over it for posterity's sake. Trump-backed candidate Joe Kent failed to dislodge Representative Jaime Herrera Butler from receiving the Republican nod in Washington State's 3rd congressional district, finishing 3rd in the state's ranked choice jungle primary system. What the fuck does all of that mean? Well, the leading 3rd congressional district primary vote getter was actually Democrat Mary Klusenkamp Perez with 32% of the tally. 6th-term incumbent Butler, why is this cunt there for 12 fucking years? Go pastures now. So she finished in 2nd place with 24.5%, and Kent finished 3rd with less than 20%. So as you can see, only the top 2 vote recipients in each primary contest, regardless of party, will advance to the November 8th general election. So yeah, if this was split by party, we might have a different decision. Not entirely, certain or anything like that, but This is all decided by the states. That's what the state of Washington wants to do in order to decide who they're going to be sending to Washington to represent them at the federal level. By all means, that's within the 10th Amendment. That's within states' rights to decide any of this shit. I'm just saying it's a little bit fucked up, and it's mostly the reason Washington is in the state that it is and why people want to create that whole Greater Idaho project. Wish him nothing but the best. And again, it sucks because Joe Kent is a based motherfucker, so better luck next time, guy. Anyways, and finally in the 4th congressional district, Trump-backed Lauren Culp fell short of getting onto the ballot. 4-term Representative Dan Newhausen, among the 10 Republican congressional representatives who voted for impeachment, finished first in the race with 27.3% of the vote. Democrat Doug White finished with 26%, and Culp finished with 21.8%. And again, all of these are very slim margins, and again, you can look at the process and kind of deduce whatever you want, but if the name recognition would have been there, maybe that would have helped. It's impossible to really know. And it's just big gay that the 3rd place position won't be on the general ballot. Okay, them be the fucking breaks, I guess. But we are missing one big fat-headed seat in the room, right in one of those flyover states, of course. And yeah, no, it's Liz Cheney after all. And hey, you know what? Ahead of her primary election where she's going to get blown the fuck out. Hey, speaking of which, somebody who knows a thing or two about blowing somebody out, she got the endorsement of her father. Oh, that sure means so much. Because I'm a man of a certain age, right? 32 years old. I can at least remember the Bush administration. Not the first one. I was very, very young during that time, okay? And the less said about that fucking abomination, the better, okay? I remember the tail end of the Clinton stuff, not quite the impeachment, but at least hearing about the impeachment. But I was at least politically aware during both terms of the W administration. And I seem to recall Dick Cheney is one of the least liked political figures in fucking recent history, if not of all time. Nobody likes Dick Cheney, okay? So if we're just trying to resuscitate his perception, at least at a public scale, why the fuck is anybody taking him seriously when he's endorsing somebody who is so inherently unlikable within his own party? Again, just like that one foul that got away, you missed the fucking target, my guy. Ex-Vice President Dick Cheney calls Trump a coward. I would take that, considering the source, I would take that as a badge of honor and a threat to the United States and backing his daughter Liz. And you better fucking pay attention to what this old cunt has to say, because that is a face right there that knows nothing but vengeance. Facing near certain defeat in her Wyoming primary later this month, Representative Liz Cheney featured her father. Oof, boy, last-ditch effort right there if I've ever seen one. Former Vice President Dick Cheney in a campaign ad slamming former President Donald Trump as a coward and a threat to our republic. Tell us more about the business exploits of Halliburton, you fucking bastard. In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual that was a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. That's president to you, Vice President Cheney. God, that impression is hell on the vocal cords. The 46th Vice President said in the 1-minute video, oh, he's just mad because he's picking on your little girl. Well, I use the term little very liberally in this sense. Tried to steal the last election using his lies and violence to keep himself in power, and the voters rejected him. Tell us more about the Iraq invasion. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. Oh, again, please tell us more about weapons of mass destruction, Dick. I'm begging for you to tell us more, please. The elder Cheney continued, he lost his election, and he lost big. I know that he knows it deep down. I think most Republicans know it. And if they don't know it, I got a prop for this. And I think most Republicans know it. And he went on to praise Liz, seeking a 4th term as Wyoming's lone member of the House of Representatives. Well, don't worry. It's going to be a little bit more lonely after August 16th. After her father held the seat for more than a decade. Yeah, I think dynasties are part of the reason why America, created its own nation way back in the day, back when, Cheney was merely digging with oil with a shovel, or standing up for the truth, doing what's right, and honoring her oath
to the Constitution. Liz is fearless. She doesn't flinch whenever she hears.
The former vice president went on,
She never backs down from a fight. I know her. She's a tough old bitch. This is nothing more important than she will ever do to lead the effort to make sure Donald Trump is never again in the Oval Office. And she will succeed.
Let's get into those polling numbers, shall we? Oh, but first and foremost,
I'm Dick Cheney. I proudly voted for my daughter, and I hope you will too. I mean, look at her. Doesn't she look trustworthy? Those very shootable frames on her face. One shot at a time. 2 lenses, 1 buckshot.
He concluded, Liz Cheney is one of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump in the connection with last year's Capitol riot that serves as vice chair of the House Select Committee investigation that day's violence. It'll be interesting when she loses her primary and then loses her seat. She's still going to be on that stupid committee. It's not going to be fucking over by the time that the midterms shake out, okay? This is going to continue all the way through the presidential election 2024. Fucking mark me down for that. Mark me down for that. Last year, the 45th president strongly endorsed Cheney's primary challenger, Harriet Hageman, while accusing the incumbent of being a warmonger and disloyal Republican. Disloyal. Hageman is heavily favored in the August 16th primary, with the recent Casper Star Tribune survey giving her 52% of the prospective Republican vote compared to Cheney's 30%, which also doubles as her body fat percentage in her left leg. Anyways, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.